Nearly 2 years into the pandemic, and its alternating extremes of crisis and recovery have forced each one of us to question even the most elementary aspects of our everyday lives. While a significant chunk of these experiences and objects that we indulged in became unavailable or unnecessary post this disruption, our collective attention has been sharply refocused to the most primal basics of food, shelter, physical health, and mental well being, and how best to secure these when the very scale of our life contracts to our own homes or immediate neighborhoods. We combine the core concept of aquaponics, a symbiotic relationship between fish and plants to produce food, with a new ritual of care added into the routine of their keeper. These rituals become essential to sustain the delicate relationship between people, their goldfish companions, the food they produce together, and the sense of comfort or satisfaction they derive from this experience. Digital overlays onto the system, be it motion tracking for fish, height tracking for plant growth, or temperature, nitrogen, and turbidity sensors for the water tanks, make it convenient for the users to visualize and minutely monitor the physical parameters that help maintain the health of their plants and fish. But beyond aiding this aspect of care, these digital overlays allow individual systems in domestic or commercial settings to engage with a wider audience virtually. We imagine a sense of community in the digital realm by creating a universally accessible digital twin of our spatially bound physical prototype to promote a sense of community involvement throughout the lifetime of this project. We visualize this sense of community, further feeding the engagement and active adoption of our system across more and more urban households. We could even extend its scope to serve as a prototype to solve existential concerns of our cities and societies, not via big data or urban scale infrastructure, but by intimate interventions at the personal and domestic level that aggregate across digitally enabled worldwide communities.
So aquaponics is the combination of aquaculture and hydroponics. To put it more simply, it's the case where fish and plants are grown together in a symbiotic relationship. So at the heart of this relationship is the nitrogen cycle, where fish would eat some food that will produce waste that gets turned into ammonia, and then that gets converted into nitrite and nitrate by the nitrifying bacteria, and then these nitrites and nitrates becomes nutrients for the plant, so that not only is the fish nourishing the plant is also extracting these nutrients out of the water, in a way filtering the water for the fish. So Goldfish Architecture is a small-scale aquaponic system that we developed for the urban household. So the main challenge of this was to reduce its size. Now, this is a very delicate balance between nutrient and waste and toxicity. So, in a bigger system, it is much easier because the water volume is bigger and the system is more stable. In a smaller system, it's more prone to changes. However, thanks to our IoT monitoring system, we're able to make the small-scale system work very reliably. So we selected goldfish because it is number one, a very hardy fish among other aquarium fish, and number two, it actually produces a lot of waste as well. So it's very easy for us to, at such a small scale, to have enough nutrients for the plants and then keeping that balance. In terms of the growing system, variety was our main goal. So, with our system, you can grow things such as microgreens, herbs, lettuces, and then even hydroponic houseplants. Although this is a aquaponic system, it's mostly symbiotic relationship, self-perplexing, you still need daily care and attention to keep this system functioning and alive. So in a way, this almost becomes a daily ritual, or more accurately, this is a habit that you can develop. And then during the time of pandemic, I think this can be tremendously helpful in that establishing some sort of routine, establishing some type of habit so you can stack other habits to it, or that this becomes a trigger for you to pursue other things that you may need to or want to pursue. Now, during the time of pandemic, me personally, by taking care of this project at my home, have definitely helped me as well.
With the aquaponics system functioning as infrastructure, we need to consider how the system actually meets the human body and to give it a form. For the exhibition, we are looking into goldfish cars for the source of inspiration. These cars are part of a cultural landscape that is very familiar to Japan, and it immediately relates to a festive atmosphere that we wish to create. The structure we are assembling is a modular frame. The detailing and dimensions are all based on off-the-shelf products that are available to everyone. The units are quite humble in size so that they can deal with all sorts of scales. For example, from pavilion scale, where multiple units would come together to form a cluster, and you can walk through it, to a furniture scale, which blends into your house, sitting right next to your desk or in a corner of your balcony. Other than spatial concerns, the total volume of water in each module and the number of fish and plants also need to be carefully adjusted so that the fish and plants can stay healthy and the system can start to balance itself against changes in the environment. Ultimately, for this piece, we wanted to be explicit in explaining how the aquaponic system runs, and we wish to establish an intimate relationship with the viewers. So we encourage people to come closer and to really place themselves right next to it, and to see it as a familiar object that might reach you on a daily basis.
The well-being of individuals and communities should be a primary concern when it comes to the digitization of the metropolis. In a certain sense, the needs of the inhabitants have not been considered a priority within this digital transformation. People who were once part of a community are suddenly disconnected from their personal surroundings due to the rapid changes and seemingly non-human data-driven optimizations of the city. For SIGGRAPH Asia, we decided to take a deeper dive into these issues by embracing the very technologies stemming from this rapid transformation and exploring the notion of collective care through the unique architectural expression of virtual environments, which we treat with equal importance to that of physical reality. The proposed artwork is to serve as a common ground between the physical construction and digital twin, interlinking the users on-site through mixed reality and depth scanning, and virtual users through WebXR. Both on-site and off-site, these users share a unified space, a digital forum of sorts, centered around the physical pavilion and symbiotic system. We believe that this physical link is essential for nurturing a sustained and collective cooperation between all visitors and users. By providing real live beings that require non-stop attention from all participants to survive and prosper, we aim to investigate intuitive methods of sustainability meshing our everyday surroundings and personal spaces with a new class of data.